we couldn't be more excited at Shield Wall Gaming as we are right now. We just recently got in all the stuff from the distributors for Flesh and Blood. Now this is my own personal collection because I've obviously cracked a few packs. We've got the posters for the events, for the Armory events. We've got the promo cards, the Armory sets. We got in all of the demo decks so that we can start teaching the game. Our first event is a day away from when I'm recording this video, where we do our first real big welcome event. So excited. Shawn from Shield Wall Gaming here. And yeah, it's true, we're probably still a little ahead of the curve compared to all the other gaming stores in the country and where the game Flesh and Blood is in the United States as far as distribution and whatnot. But the distributors have really just started getting a lot of the product in. And so although we're still a little ahead of the curve, we're probably behind in some areas of the country. I know down south in Texas, there seems to be a lot of events being run. Certainly there's some in New York that are being run. We're right in the Midwest, right in Cleveland, Ohio, and there's not much being run around us at all. In fact, I think the next closest event being run is like 200 miles away. So we're really excited because although we might only have 8 to 10 people at our first welcome event, the goal that we're going to try to do here is with all the games that we play at Shield Wall is to grow the game as much as we can to get a good community. You know, at Shield Wall, we're not a retail store. We actually are a local gaming club. And so we have access to retail in order to provide our painting services and things like that. But all that money goes towards the club collectively. So although someone would come to our shop and buy packs, that doesn't go into anyone's pocket. We're not paying salaries. We're collectively utilizing that money to build a better and bigger gaming space. But we're super excited about Flesh and Blood. I just wanted to show you a couple of things that we got. I also want to talk about a couple of different little pieces that I've seen with the cards and just kind of talk about some different facts. But we got the People's Champions playmats. And these are fantastic. We got 2 of them, and we're going to get into a place where, you know, we're going to, as the show or the company kind of recommends, we're going to give those away once a month. Instead of the small little rule book that you get with the starter decks and you're trying to flip through this thing and old people like me can't really read it, we actually get a full-size rule book. Of course, we can look all this up online as well. And then again, like I said, we got the promo cards, the cold foil Dawnblade and the cold foil Kadachi, which is the ninja weapon, and the full art promos that came with it. We'll be handing these out at events. We're really excited to do that. It's cool. Legend Story Studios sent us this box that has that full playmat in it. It had a couple of other little goodies in it. One of the things that I thought was the best, that was really cool, that I didn't really know existed, and many other people in the Flesh and Blood community may know it exists, but I didn't, is this Welcome to Wrath, this Flesh and Blood book. There is a ton of lore here, and there's a ton of really interesting information, up to and including the different heroes. So there was a lot of people predicting what were the heroes that were going to come out. Well, that came from this book, which I never realized until just recently. And so now that we know what the heroes are that are already released, we can also now kind of predict what the heroes are going to be for that next set. So that makes it kind of interesting. Not the set that's coming out, Arcane Rising, we know that one, but the one after, which would probably be October-ish. We can see that. I'm going to talk about that as well. The day from when I'm recording this video, we're doing our first welcome event with Ira's Welcome, the demo deck, and we've got a bunch of those ready. A distributor sent us a ton of those. I've got my Guardian constructed deck. For a few of us that are a little bit more hardcore, we'll be playing that as well. I mean, the focus is going to be sealed early on to get people into the game and whatnot. You may have seen a foil Spinal Crush. Don't be jealous. Yes, that's true. And this is a good deck. I'm excited about it. Guardian's probably one of my favorite to play so far. But let's get down to the table, and I want to show you a couple things with this book. So there are some great things behind this book. I know a lot of people have, I don't think it's a big mystery this book exists, but a lot of people have borrowed it from their local gaming stores and things like that. You know, this is a game that we are opening our club doors to the public so that we can bring people in and teach them the game and sell the game to them and get them behind it. Every good tabletop game, miniatures game, trading card game has to come from a place where you have to care about the universe and the characters and whatnot. And I thought Flesh and Blood had this lore behind it. I didn't know they had this kind of lore behind it, and it's really cool and really refreshing. This tells me, and should tell every retailer or other retail-based clubs that are out there like ours, that the company has put a lot of time and effort into this universe. The company has put a lot of money into it. The other thing that this book tells me, which I'll show you in a second, that's pretty cool, is they're not just 1 or 2 sets ahead. They're way ahead of the curve on how things are going to be released, their play testing structure. They may not be as ahead of the curve as some of the other trading card games with their development maybe, but they are several sets ahead, and what we're going to be getting is balanced products, and I'm really excited about that. First thing I wanted to show you guys is, there's these journals in here. So these journals have different, it's got its own bestiary, right, that shows you different beasts and things like that and stories from this. This is what this tells me, is there could be a lot more coming in the future. There could be, people that cast beasts or whatever it may be. This also could just be a lot of lore filler. Second thing I wanted to show you is there's some good detail on the heroes themselves, right? So this is Bravo's story, and this tells you who he is and where he came from and why he got to where he is. I mean, this is really cool stuff. If this is your favorite hero, this is great to read all of this. Last thing I wanted to show you is both the regions, which we kind of already knew about the regions that they're from a little bit, the different regions of the area, but also the professions. And this is where people were getting their guesses on, well, what's coming next, obviously. So we know, of course, that we've already released the Guardian, the Brute, the Ninja, and the Warrior were the first releases. So that's what came out with the game when the game launched. What's coming out for Arcane Rising is going to be the Alchemist. It's going to be the Wizard. It's going to be the Necromancer, and we're also getting the Ranger. So that means that probably, not 100% because I don't know, I don't work for the company, but it's likely that when we get to October, or roughly around there, or whenever their second release is going to be, which I know they've already got their second release planned, what we're going to see is the Assassin, the Bard, the Illusionist, and then the Cleric. And I think that's all really, really cool stuff. So I was wondering when I was seeing this, I'm like, gosh, some of these people, they must have some inside stuff with the company or whatever. Well, no, when you got that starter set and you're selling the game and building a community for the game, you get this stuff, and there's some really cool stuff in here. So super excited about it. I just wanted to show you guys this. The other thing I want to talk about briefly, just something I noticed when I was looking through the packs, and the only way, I don't know if the camera can really pick that up well, I'm trying to avoid the glare from the light, but, and maybe if we get a little bit more of a pure light on it, let me see if there's a white light on it, that might be a little better. But I don't know if you could see, those are 3 red cards. So there's the 2 that are the top and the bottom are kind of that traditional red, and then you see the middle one. It's kind of like a pink. I don't know if that's intentional or what that is for or why, but I really think that they just had a different color ink. Again, it doesn't affect gameplay. It's not a big deal, but it was just something that I noticed as I was opening. I'm like, oh my gosh, is that like a different color? It's obviously not. I knew it wasn't, but my brain went, wonder what that pink is. And then I went, oh, that's a red. Of course, that makes sense. So just something I noticed. Again, not a big deal. Still super excited about this game. Really excited about the potential of it and where it's going. I can't wait to read through this lore book more. I mean, I could do multiple videos on the lore. If this game kicks off, that's going to be a great place to go, I guess, with some of the stuff that we're doing and other channels as well. Really cool. Super excited about it. Thanks so much for giving Shield Wall a chance. Hope to see many of you at these events as we come through this. And really excited, of course, for Arcane Rising. That's going to be one of our first really big events for this. And thanks so much.